Thank you everyone for attending. My name is Ali. I'm from Codis. I'm just going to quickly start off with a quick PowerPoint presentation, which gives you a bit more information about Codis, about Intellerator and Intellerator. And you might be thinking, why am I talking about Intellerator? Because that's the Sage price list product. And there's a promotion going on for Intellerator where you get free licenses of Intellerator for every license that you buy of Intellerator. Following that, I'll jump into the demo for Intellerator. And I'm happy to take any questions at the end as well. So just a quick bit of background about Codis. Thank you very much for joining again. At Codis, we have worked closely with Sage for 30 years. In fact, it was our 30th anniversary last month, and we have been an established Sage business partner and award-winning developer. One of our price list products, Intellerator, won the Sage Innovation Award in 2006, 1 year after it was launched. And since then, it's gone through many improvements, enhancements, and iterations to make it compatible with all the latest Sage products. The product became very, very popular, and it's also on the Sage 200 price list as well. Just a quick snapshot of the different type of companies, the different kind of companies which have been using Intellerator, which have actually bought Intellerator since we've been on the Sage price list. So over the years, you'll see it's a nice collection of companies. Obviously, it's close to 6,000 licenses sold worldwide, so I can't fit all of them in there. But it gives you a nice collection of the different types of companies, different sizes, and so on and so forth. You'll see Walgreen Boots Alliance, the owner of Boots on the high street, have been users of Intellerator, as have been over the years Merlin Entertainments Group. So if you think of Madame Tussauds, Thorpe Park, Alton Towers, and so on and so forth, then you've got some household names like Wagamama as well. Before I jump into Intellerator, a quick recap on Intellerator. It's an Excel add-in. It's a Sage integration between Excel and Sage 200. It's not just a data import tool, although that's one of its core functionalities. The product is a two-way integration between Excel and Sage. It allows you to pull information down from Sage onto the spreadsheet, work on it in Excel, and also push the updated information back up into Sage. Intellerator gives you validation in Excel that enforces Sage business rules so that you can quickly identify and fix errors. So you're usually getting Sage error messages within your Excel sheet as well. You can browse your Sage data from your Excel sheet. So let's say you're looking up a stock code or a nominal code or a customer code. You don't need to minimize Excel, jump into Sage 200 to look at that. Also, it's highly customizable. Users can design their own spreadsheets. The promotion that we are running with Sage is that for every license that is bought of Intellerator, you get an equivalent number of user licenses for Intellerator. And the users for Intellerator can be different to the users of Intellerator. I'm not going to spend too much time on the slide for on the slides for Intellerator because we'll be jumping into a demo fairly soon. It's essentially based on Power BI. It's a set of standard dashboards. You can link them to all of your Sage 200 companies. You can report across companies, and you can also link, have information coming in from other systems as well. And we'll try and cover a lot of that in the demo. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move across my demo screen. If I, Michael, if you could just give me a quick heads up, if you can actually see those dashboards, that would be great.
Yeah, perfect, all good.
Awesome stuff. So I'm just going to turn my camera off, guys, just to save bandwidth and stuff and make sure that there is no lag when I'm actually clicking around on stuff. Right, so this is Intellerator. It's a set of standard, it's a standard suite of dashboards, and these are all the dashboards included with it that you see on the left. Each dashboard has many sub-dashboards within it. So for example, nominal transactions, you've got summary, you've got a summary dashboard, then you've got an analysis dashboard, and I will try and touch on all of them today as well. As I said earlier, it's based on Power BI. Using Power BI presents a number of advantages because Microsoft continue to put in development resources behind it, continue to invest in it, and they are constantly adding new features and new updates and so on and so forth. A lot of organizations have actually also become accustomed to having and using Power BI. So you've got certain filters on the left-hand side here. As I said before, it's across multiple companies. So, you can report across all of the Sage 200 companies, and you can pick and choose which company you want to see the data for. You can also filter by different types of transactions. So it's not just the current transactions that it's actually showing you. You can look at deferred waiting and waiting transactions as well. You can also filter by account type, asset, expense, income, liability. You've got a date slider and date boxes where you can actually type in dates if you want to analyze a certain selection. And then what are the different modules which are hitting the nominal ledger? You can actually search by that as well. Every single one of these visuals that you see here, they're clickable. You can click on them. So if I actually click on this cost center, factory and warehouse, you'll see the rest of the information essentially changes. And then you can, if you want to do multi-select, you can hold down the control key to actually select multiple different parts of the same visual or additional visuals as well. Each one of these visuals you can pop out. For example, just click on focus mode here. And then once it's actually displayed in a more enhanced fashion and you want to see this information as a table, you can click these three dots here and click on show as table. That information comes through you in tabular format because accountants and finance people sometimes like tables. You can export to Excel. So it will export all of the information to Excel, apply your various filters and so on and so forth. And you have complete freedom to actually do that. One thing I want to mention that it will be one link for everyone in the organization, but who sees what can be controlled. As an example of that, if it's actually set up, if the permissions are set up, so by cost center. So when the Manchester cost center, for example, gets this information, they will not see information relevant to the other cost centers. If that's how you choose to actually set it up, they will only see information relevant to the Manchester cost center. Similarly, you can do that based on other parameters as well, and we'll try and cover that as we look at the rest of the dashboards. If I jump over to the analysis section, again, this is for nominal transactions, but this gives you information in a much more granular fashion. So if I wanted to essentially have a look at what's happening in report category 16, which is cash and bank, I'll click on that. Then I want to analyze what's happening in account code 16,800. I'll click on that. And you'll see it effectively changes your trend analysis as well. And the transactions that you see at the bottom here will be reflected based on what you've selected on the filters on the left-hand side and the filters that you've essentially applied on the visuals as well. So if I pop these out, you'll see that all the transactions which are displayed now, or as a result of the drill downs and the visual filters that we've applied, you only see transactions for report category 16, cash and bank, and account code 16,800. And if you click on this little icon here, this actually shows you what are the different filters that you've actually applied in the previous screen. So if I just hover over it again, you can see that 16 cash and bank, and that's the account code that we're particularly interested in and what we're actually looking at. Just click on back to report and then you get back into it. And then if you want to analyze by account codes, you can do that. So if I want to look at this particular account code and the one underneath it, just hold down the control key and you've got a quick trend analysis as well for that information. Now, if you've applied, let's say, lots of different filters on your visuals and you wanted to actually get more information about that and ask any of your colleagues more information about or drill down into a more analysis, get some feedback, ask some questions, what would you do? Well, you can take a snapshot of this, attach it in an email, describe the different visuals and filters you've applied, and then send it off in an email, and they'll have to then go in, then apply the same filters that you had applied. So it'll be a bit time consuming. With Power BI, you don't need to do that. There's a comment button at the top. And so if you've applied certain visuals, you can leave those visuals on there and then just post your comment and ask your question. And then when your colleague clicks on your comment, it will automatically change the visuals completely to what you were looking at when you essentially made that comment or asked that question. And they can easily come back to you and reply to you. So it makes sharing of information and a bit of back and forth a lot more easier as well. I'll close down this section. Again, you can export different types of visuals. So if I have actually highlighted these two here, I can actually come in here and click on Spotlight just to highlight this particular section and then share with your colleagues. So then when they actually click on that link, this will already be highlighted for them they can obviously click out depending on their permissions to actually see the other relevant portions of it as well. So all of the drill downs are intractable, and all of the transactions will be reflected on the visuals and the filters that you've essentially applied. I'm going to jump over to payments control now. So your aged creditors in Sage 200. So everyone would have come across a scenario. So if I just click on the summary dashboard first, you would have come up with a scenario where you ran the aged creditors report at the end of May, let's say 31st of May 2023. But then someone comes back and asks the question, okay, what was the position at the end of March 2023? Well, you've got a couple of choices. Either you go back into Sage 200 and run a retrospective report, or you look for the report that you ran at the end of March in a spooler, or you go back to your Excel file where you may have exported that information. So you'll still have to do certain things. With this, you don't have to do that. It gives you movements over time at particular dates and time, what the situation was. You can also have different period breakdowns at the top, and it's got a moving average line going across the top here as well. So if I wanted to see what the position was at the end of period 6, for example, I can just click on period 6. And this effectively changes all of the other visuals depending on the visual I have clicked on. And this actually gives you a breakdown divided into different aging periods, and also tells you who the top 10 suppliers were that you hadn't paid or that had outstanding amounts during that period. If you wanted to actually have a look at another period, you can actually click on that. That changes your figures, your information essentially based on that visual. And if I then go to the analysis section, this again, as I said, you can be multi-company, you can report across different companies, and for each company, it also breaks it down by different aging periods. So what's current and what falls between the 30 and 60 days, you actually see that over there. And if you wanted to actually see by supplier, you can simply click on supplier. And again, if you didn't want to click on supplier on the analysis section, you wanted to essentially have a look at this yellow part of the graph, you can essentially click on that. And it will actually give you all breakdowns by normal account codes, by suppliers, and all of the transactions and stuff that you actually have at the bottom. They will start changing essentially based on what you have filtered as well. If you wanted to, you can do a quick supplier search here just to make it easy for you, and then just have a look at that, look at the information for that particular supplier and see what the age creditor's position is with regards to that particular instance. Credit control works in the same way as the payments control, but this is on the side of aged debtors. So if I click on the summary one again, we've tried to design the dashboard sort of following the same format. So you've got summary, you've got KPIs, and you've got analysis and so on and so forth. You carry that forward, just makes it easier for users to navigate between the different dashboards as well. Again, across multiple companies, you can pick and choose the companies, or have a lot of companies displaying together. And this is age debtors, but you've got different periods showing up with a moving average chart showing up as well, along with a bar chart. And then you've got some trend analysis at the bottom showing you, divided into different aging periods, how things have essentially been going. If I click on the analysis section, and if you have a look at, let's say, AB, this is again divided into different aging periods. Not only do you get what is the total amount that this customer essentially owes you, it's actually divided into different aging periods as well. More than 90 days, what's happening here? Then you can start diving into more information and so on and so forth with regards to that. You can also choose to age from due date / invoice date, that's up to you. You can actually also look at this by account codes. If you wanted to, you can actually type the name of the account or the code as well. I'll quickly jump over to the sales dashboard. Now the sales dashboard, again, you've got summary, analysis. In this one, you've got another one, which is transactions. I'll actually touch on that as well. So the sales one is essentially based on your sales order processing, and you can have completed and or live orders if you wanted to analyze that way, or you can have multiple selections. And if you wanted to actually look at top 5 sales reps, for example, and click on Samuel Clark, you can get a picture of what Samuel Clark has done. This is what Samuel Clark has been doing over the past year. This is how they performed. They had good months in period 4, period 10, and these are the regions where Samuel Clark has been selling the most, and these are the top 5 customers for Samuel Clark. And then if I wanted to actually see that, what about this customer, Samuel Clark, and what about this customer, and then you can essentially continue to click on those visuals as well. You can have a look at different years, swap the years around, and the analysis section essentially works in pretty much the same way. You've got your moving average, you've got your sales by period, you've got your product groups, what's actually being sold the most, you've got your products, sales reps, customers, and so on and so forth. And you can continue scrolling down, drilling down into them at will. The transactions section, again, you can apply your filters, look at the transactions, and then export to Excel, and then work on it at will. Again, one link for everyone in the organization. You can access this. You don't have to be in front of Sage 200. You can access this over the web, on your phone, on your tablets, and so on and so forth. So it just makes sharing of information and quickly diving into a bit of analysis a lot easier. The purchases dashboard is, again, this is based on purchase order processing, pretty much the same way as the sales dashboard essentially works. So you've got your top 5 buyers, and you can click on them to actually see what each individual is doing, top 5 suppliers, and so on and so forth. And then you've got your order status, and you can analyze for different years if you wanted to. So if I wanted to actually switch to year beginning January 17, for example, you can do that. You can go back in time for previous years as well. I'm going to move over to the financial statements one now. So the financial statements dashboard, this is based on the financial statement layouts that you would set up for your clients in Sage 200. So whatever financial statement layouts you've actually set up for your clients, they will actually show up here, and then you can swap between them. So if I just click on the profit loss account, and there it is. So all of the layouts that you set up in Sage 200 will be picked up automatically, and then you can switch the layouts here as well. So if I wanted to actually see what the profit loss account situation was in period 4, for example, just click on period 4, changes your figures for you. If you then wanted to analyze by cost centers, you can select certain cost centers and or departments, however you want to essentially do it. And then you can switch companies at the top there as well. We move over to stock valuation. So if we actually go over stock valuation, this again is what is the value of stock that you're holding. So we'll start off with the summary dashboard in the first instance. And this also gives you stock value this year against stock value prior year. So if you wanted to actually click on one, this actually shows you that in period 1, what was the position, in the current year compared to the last year as well. And then you can actually then drill down by product groups as well. So if I click on range style, these are the top 5 products I'm actually seeing here. And this is how the stock value has changed over time as well. And then you can continue to drill down further. On the detail section, again, designed in pretty much the same sort of way as the other dashboards have been. You can have multiple companies, report across companies. You can search by product groups or filter by product groups or by product, and so on and so forth. And you've got all the different visuals. If you wanted to, you can actually continue to drill down into them. And all of your transactions will essentially, again, be changed based on the visuals that you've essentially applied. Customizations, we launched this on 18th of May, so a couple of months ago. Since then, we've been sort of overwhelmed with the response, and we're sort of playing catch up. But we've included a customized dashboard contact us button, and we've already received a few customization requests. And they range from different types of, so I'll give you a quick example. So if I go over to the sales, the summary one, you've got top 5 sales reps. So we've had some requests. So instead of top 5 sales reps, can you pick up analysis code 5, for example, from my system and show that over there? That's one of them. And so, and then there have been additional customization requests where they've started using the Intellerator dashboards, but they've requested more customizations or more tabs to be added, where it's a bespoke report or a bespoke dashboard that we've actually done for them. And other types of customization requests is, fine, can I have information coming through from another system in Power BI, and can I have that displayed as a different tab there as well? So yeah, so that can be done, and we can work on that with you and get more information. You can email us. I'll share the email addresses and stuff if you've got any further questions which we can't answer today towards the end as well. One of the things that we want to do as a result of this particular session is to set all of you up with some demo licenses of Intellerator, so you get access to this and you can start using it. You can start playing around with it, and you can start showing it to your customers and showing it to your clients. And if need be, we are more than happy to run a quick joint webinar session as well, if required. Right, so I've rushed through a few, all of the standard dashboards at this point in time. I'm happy to take questions. So Michael, if I can take audio questions as well, or if someone's typed certain information out, I'm happy to do that too.
Yeah, I've just had a look at the chat there. We haven't currently got any questions, but if anyone wants to use this as their opportunity to ask, please feel free just to type your questions in the little chat box there below. We'll give them a couple of minutes there, Ali, if that's all right. But yeah, excellent demo. Thanks for that, mate.
No problem at all.
And also for anybody else who's attending it, you can also see there's a handout section where you can download the Intellerator brochure as well. So if anyone wants access to that, I'll be able to send that out after. So again, we'll give you a minute or so to complete any questions you might have. And then if we don't have any,
yeah, there's one question that's popped up. Just trying to read it.
Will this work with
Sage 200 standard? Yeah, I can get that information for you, and I can come back to you. It's Natalie Benson, yeah. So we'll just make a note of that. And what is the benefits of this over Power BI? So this is basically running on Power BI. So it's actually essentially based on Power BI, but it's a set of standard dashboards that we've actually built to get users up and running quickly. A lot of these dashboards that we've actually designed have been based on feedback. A lot of times what happens is that users will try and design their own dashboards, try and customize their own dashboards, and sometimes that doesn't work out. And there's some common features which have been requested over the years, and this is essentially what we've done. So this is based on Power BI, but we've designed the dashboards to get users a lot of the core information that they're usually looking for from Sage 200. Hope that answers that one. That's the standard one. Can we see the purchase KPIs? Absolutely. So these can be changed. So at the moment, what you see on the KPI section, you've got top 5 buyers, you've got top 5 suppliers, you've got purchases by period along with a moving average chart at the top. You've got top 10 product groups, and then based on what visual filters or filters on the left that you've applied, you've got a little map there as well. These can be customized. On the sales side of things, you had top 5 sales reps, and people have requested that to be changed, and they wanted certain analysis codes to be added. So we've done that as well. Oh, there's more questions. Just bear with me for a second, yeah? Are there any? Yeah, the screen's really small. So if I miss any of your questions, I'm not doing it on purpose, guys. Are there any Microsoft license costs for Power BI? Yes, absolutely. So just like you need an Excel license or a Microsoft 365 or an Office license to use Intellerator, you will need to have a Power BI license to use Intellerator.
Robin Mills has asked, is it for newer businesses only?
No, so right, so for new sales of Intellerator, this is free. So that's a promotion we've launched. You can buy it separately as well. We have been asked over the last couple of months about discounts for existing users of Intellerator who've already bought Intellerator over the last few years. What's happening with that? So we are offering discounts. If you email me, I will actually come back to you guys about the level of discounts that we're offering for existing users of Intellerator. You can also buy Intellerator separately as well if you're not buying it, if you're not availing the opportunity to get free licenses with Intellerator. Individually, it's priced at £15 per user per month, which works out to be £180 for a user annually.
Rachel Holly's also asked, does it run on 365 only?
So as long as you have a Power BI license, it'll work. And so some companies would have Power BI licenses included within their Microsoft 365 subscriptions. If it's not, then you can add it into your subscription. So as long as you have Power BI, you'll be able to use it.
Ella Wright has asked, what are the costs for customizations?
So that depends. So for example, on the sales side of things, if they're replacing something really quickly, like if it's top 5 sales reps and they wanted that change to analysis code 5, if it's a quick thing, we've also done it for free. But then it also depends on the level of customization, which we will be willing to talk through with you and your customer, just to spec it out, and then we can estimate what the costs are likely to be, depending on the requirements.
And we've also got another one. Are there any profitability reports? And that's asked by Natalie.
Yeah, so we are. Natalie, in terms of the kind of reports that you're asking, that you want for profitability, happy to have a chat with you, because there are certain other dashboards that we are building. There's no timeline on them at the moment, and they will continue to get added to the standard dashboard suite. If there's some specific profitability type reports that you're looking for, I'm happy to have that chat with you. If you could email me, happy to set up a call, and we can have a look at that. But you do have your financial statement layouts there that actually give you your profit loss account as well. But I think what you might be asking is profitability in terms of what you've sold and how much it essentially cost. What was the cost of what you've actually sold? Is that correct?
Just while Natalie's come back with that, I've also got another one from Robin Mills saying, can we see extra data feeds external to Sage?
Yes, so in this one you can do that. That's one of the core functionalities in this. You can link it to other data sources as well. So I've got a client who's actually linked it so they're using Intellerator, but they've got another tab which they have actually linked to their property management system. It's a hospitality company. So they've linked it to the property management system as well. So you can do that. I don't have that on my demo system at this point in time, but you can essentially have multiple existing systems as data feeds feeding into this.
If you want to demonstrate that later on, Ali, anyone who's got any questions regarding that can just ping me an email and I can put you in touch with Ali later on. Marcus has asked, what are the steps for integrating with Sage 200 and setup?
Yes, so we built our own web service which does this. So we have to do a server-side install that probably takes around about a couple of hours, we say half day, to be on the safe side. And I can send across prerequisites. If you guys could email me, I'll try and make a note of these questions as well, Michael. We can send across prerequisites as well, which will give you a bit more information.
Natalie's replied and said, yes, stock profitability versus cost price and profit per item sold. So yeah, that's perfect. Thank you. I'll just make sure I haven't missed any of the ones. Robin's put cost of extra feeds.
That depends. If they have a, for example, if it's a property management system company and they have a feed that can be picked up by Power BI easily, and then it depends on what you want to see on that Power BI dashboard. If there's any calculations involved, what kind of information you want to see, how deep you want to go. So that will essentially depend on that.
Perfect. Now, I don't know if I missed this one before, but Darren Tolley's also asked, can we see the purchase KPIs?
Yes, we covered that, and I
perfect answered that one. Yeah.
Switch back to that so you can have a look at it once again, Darren.
I think that rounds off all of our questions, guys. Does anybody else have any more they would like to ask before we round off the session? Or you did a great job of getting through all those, Ali. Appreciate that.
No problem at
all. Neil Ward's got another one. Does it require any extra Sage licensing?
No. As long as you have your Power BI licenses, and you've got, so you don't even need a full Sage 200 desktop license, essentially. So you don't. There's no additional costs for this. Michael, can you see that screen with contact information?
I can, yeah. So does anyone want to make a note of Ali's details there? Definitely worth making a note of those, and then to arrange demos and further technical setup things. Or if you've got any customers who you think might be worth benefiting from the tool, it would definitely be worth taking a note of Ali's details and contacting Ali.
Yeah, and happy, like, if you've got any questions that you think have not been answered fully here, happy to take them. Email me. And for as far as the technical install license setup information is concerned, I'm happy to send across prerequisites. And if there's more technical questions that you guys still may have, I'm happy to put you in touch with our developers and technical teams to actually work through those and talk through those as well.